name is Ogwa Aduloju. I'm a librarian, I'm a published poet, I'm a mother, and a humanist. I'll say mental health is the vibrancy and then the robustness of the psychological well-being and its ability to withstand and embrace the challenges and the joys and the pains that living provides. You know, growing up, I had a very rich childhood. I had a parent, my dad especially, he taught me about elemental beings. He taught me about herbs. So, and then I lived in a house where my brother's friends called Animal Farm. So we embraced a lot of animals, and then we just grew to love nature. And going to spend holidays with my grandma, I was also introduced to farming, which we'll have to go with her to farm. And then she had all this cultural and ethnic piece around her, which I grew to love. You know, going to the farm with her, we'll have to pass streams, come across snails, fishes. So these were things that formed a very rich memory for me in my childhood, and I grew to enjoy it, and I drew inspiration from it to my art. One of the best things of having a very rich memory is you don't know the essence of some of the stories and the meanings that you draw from these stories whilst growing up, but as you get older and then you look back, you realize, oh, I actually had a very nice time growing up. So you want to impact, you want to promote and shine more light on some of the things that you experience which you feel are not commonplace anymore. My work promotes emotional connection, emotional creativity, and mental connection. In looking back on some of the things I experienced, because my book is a well from my experience, I talk about animals, I talk about the cultural pieces that I found in my grandma's kitchen and living with her. And these are things that encourage one to embrace nature. It encourages one to look back and be kind to yourself. Enjoy everything that nature has to provide. You know, the thing about living is to be able to embrace all the social pillars available and make the best use of it. And what my art does is to promote these social pillars. That is the family, and then it's in the family that we are taught self-acceptance, self-love, and all the other mental resources that we need to be able to thrive in the society that we are being prepared for. So my art, I'll say my art encourages you to embrace everything around you and to make the most of it, as well as being kind and being compassionate to yourself. I'll share the poem Vulnerable. It was inspired by my son. The story is, my husband came to the office to check on me, and coincidentally my boy had been with me and he wanted to go with his dad when his dad was going back. And one of my colleagues came upon my son crying, and the reason was that my husband didn't go with my boy, so my boy was crying, and my colleague started chastising him. Are you a girl? Why are you crying over ordinary going with your dad? And for me, it didn't sit well. I believe that whether you're a boy or you're a girl, you should be able to express your emotions, and our society shouldn't tell you how or where to express your emotions. So here goes. Vulnerable. Society tells you to be yourself, yet they expect you to fit in. They encourage you to be authentic, yet they frown at your non-conformity. Vulnerability is always the culprit. They rebuke you for being vulnerable. In your moments of weakness, heading to tears, you will hear, "Be a man. Are you a woman? My friend, man up." These comments are rife. But do you heed their stereotype? You are from a long line of men who were never afraid to shed a tear, afraid of being vulnerable. Son, it is impossible to be authentic when you numb your feelings. Do not be afraid of being vulnerable. It is not a failing, but a fortitude. Do not be afraid of being vulnerable, for it sets you on a path of solidarity. Do not be afraid of being vulnerable, for it is what makes you human. Do not be afraid of being vulnerable, for it gives you the wings to soar. Embrace your vulnerability, for it allows you to be your best. Vulnerability ensures you can be gentle and sensitive to those around you. Being vulnerable enables you to take risks, and this is the essence of life. Never forget, vulnerability is not and will never be a failing. My book was inspired by my childhood memories. And the thing is, I think in 2016, my sister had a baby and we were all in the house together, my mom and almost all my siblings and then the grandchildren. So seeing that beautiful union kind of pushed back all the memories I had as a child back to the front of my mind again. And shortly after, I decided I will start writing some of the beautiful memories I had, and in no time I had this ete.
Okay.